One day a man walks down the road when he notices an injured woman lying in the gutter after being hit by a speeding car. She has lost a lot of blood. He immediately calls for an ambulance and she is quickly rushed to the hospital. Upon arrival, and barely conscious, doctors stress the dire need to the dying woman to have an emergency blood transfusion. Without this, she will almost certainly die. She now has to decide whether or not to receive this blood transfusion or die. Only she can make this decision. Salvation is exactly the same, in that only we can make the decision ourselves whether or not to receive or reject God's precious blood for our forgiveness of sins, not as a blood injection, but as a blood imputation. In other words, Jesus Christ, being very God and very man, shed his own divine blood to save and heal us from sin and eternal death, whereas the injured woman is offered human blood to heal her from her physical injuries. One has free will to either receive God's free gift of everlasting life, which is only found by receiving the precious blood of Christ, or reject this, and therefore end up dying in one's own sins. The man, in this analogy, represents Christ. The dying woman represents a sinner, possibly a potential Christian. The doctors represent faithful ambassadors of Christ, stressing the dire need to take the blood transfusion, being imputation. And of course, the driver in the speeding car represents the devil. The woman desperately needs literal blood to live, whereas the church desperately needs Christ's literal blood to receive life everlasting. Romans chapter 3, verses 23 to 26 tell us the following. For all have sinned and come short of the glory of God, being justified freely by his grace, through the redemption that is in Christ Jesus, whom God hath set forth to be a propitiation through faith in his blood, to declare his righteousness for the remission of sins that are past, through the forbearance of God. To declare, I say, at this time his righteousness, that he might be just, and the justifier of him which believeth in Jesus. So, heaven or hell, the choice is yours.